Yo, what's up everybody, RageCage20 here, back with another Mr. B story. Today we have She Saw the Warning, but went anyways. Dot dot dot. Picture of some girl, a warning sign, looks like a fence, some kind of like, I don't know, in the woods factory or some shit. Let me look at it again. Looks like some kind of pipeline. I see trees, so I don't know about woods, but yeah. Seems exciting. You know, I don't know if it'll happen in this one, and if you've watched multiple of these stories from me, you're probably used to this already. Because this is like, what, number 27? But you know, I don't know. The thing to keep in mind whenever you're watching a story from me about these tragic events and whatnot is that not everyone agrees on the same things as you do. People look at things differently. Now, I don't know. I'm an interesting individual. I play devil's advocate a lot. I know a lot of people like the thing is don't blame the victim, but honestly, I think sometimes the people do stuff to put themselves in these situations that they just didn't do that. They wouldn't be in the situation. So I play devil's advocate every now and then. Like, I could be one of the most kind and caring individuals that you ever meet, and to those who deserve it, I would treat you so good and so nice, and do literally anything for you. However, I do also understand that this world is full of craziness and people that do horrible things, and you know, there's so much death that happens in the world at such a rapid rate. Like, there's people that die or get killed or murdered or what have you every single day, approximately, somewhere in the universe. So like, it's just kind of part of life. So if I seem heartless, like, you know, just know that most of the time I do really care and my heart does go out for these people. But at the same time, we can still take away things that we can do as a society, as people, to not get ourselves in that position. And or sometimes I like to play devil's advocate, like, well, what were they doing there at that time? Shouldn't have been there, you know. So sorry if anything I say upsets you. People just have differing opinions than you sometimes, you know. So let's doesn't mean they're a bad person. Just means maybe they don't care as much. Maybe, I mean, maybe they, you know, like, I don't know. Maybe their heart doesn't bleed as much as yours does. I don't know. Anyways, let's find out what this warning is, what this interesting pipeline looking thing is, and we'll see what happened with that story. Go on, Mr. B.
In 2016, a couple was walking up this dirt path on this wooded hillside when they came up to this huge barbed wire fence.
Right.
And all over this fence were signs saying no trespassing and warning people that what was on the other side of this fence was very dangerous.
Right.
But the couple ignored these signs and slipped through a break in the fence to the other side and just kept on walking. Minutes later, that couple would come face to face with a monster. But before we get into that
Oh shit, I didn't see it going there.
story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So if that's of interest to you, please offer to do the like button.
Oops, sorry,
Dishes,
okay.
but be sure to leave all of the cups and bowls right side up inside of their dishwasher. Also,
Genius.
please subscribe
Genius. Water's gonna be everywhere. Genius.
to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's story.
Pope Lick Monster? I assume maybe that's the name of the place. I like that. It's like one of those, like, oh, this is not to keep. We didn't build this to keep people out. We built this to keep something in. Do not go in there. I like that. I like that. But I'm just imagining someone licking the Pope. That's all I can think of. And that's the name of a place. Who the fuck named it that? There's a place they lick the Pope. We'll call it Pope Lick.
While she was in high school in Dayton, Ohio, Raquel Bain became known as a bit of a thrill seeker, primarily because she would do something called car surfing, which is exactly what it sounds
I know what car surfing is. Girl, you crazy.
like. She would climb onto the exterior of cars and hold
That
on
one
to the
movie.
roof while somebody else drove it around. In addition to
I mean, come on, like you actually holding on like car surfing? You literally gotta be standing up surfing, girl. Come on, this is weak sauce up in here.
seeking out these physical thrills, Raquel was also drawn to psychological ones, like going to places that were supposedly haunted and seeing if she could spook herself.
I feel like I've seen that. I don't know before. One of those like haunted stories, like a nuke's top something or whatever. I'm not sure or not. I do want to go to a haunted place like that. I know that's some crazy white people shit. I don't know what's wrong with this either, people. I don't know. Everyone else is like, why the fuck y'all go to these places that are dangerous and shit? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, life gets boring sometimes. You just gotta you gotta get that adrenaline going with near-death experiences. It's whatever. But unlike all these other people that go to these like haunted locations and whatnot, first off, I want to go there at night. At least not the first time. Fuck that. Secondly, like you don't know who could be squatting up in there. My plan is going to least with 3 of us, me and 2 other buddies, or me and 3 other me plus some, right? And here's the plan: all strapped, man, fucking guns loaded, ready to fucking go. I would have to probably learn how to shoot. not very good with guns. But like fucking strapped in the 9s with some tech. And we got a plan. No one separates from each other. We do not go in different directions. You know, like we all like one of us is falling. Like we're all like maybe tied to each other, or you know, we all like back to back, so that no one like we turn around like, where did they go? You know what I mean? Because like if like you go missing, you're gone. Like we ain't coming back for you. You know what I mean? Like we ain't playing that game. You know what I'm saying? So don't fuck around. Make sure we're all together, kind of thing. Like, you know, tactically go into it. Because I think really the thrill of it is, the reason why you want to do it is because, like, you hear all these stories like, oh, these are like ghost hauntings and sightings and stuff that happen to people and whatnot. But unless you experience it yourself, you know, you're always going to remain a skeptic. So I kind of want to go to these places and be like, do I actually find a haunting situation? Or do I go through there and it's like, yeah, it's nothing here. Like, I don't fucking, you know. So maybe prove if ghosts exist or not kind of situation. But, you know, you never want to bring it back with you because they can, like, in theory, attach themselves to you. So, like, that could also be bad. But that tunnel in broad daylight, I'd do that. Again, buddy system, strapped. But, you know, anyways, let's continue.
During high school, Raquel kind of calmed down and became less of the wild teenager she was known for being, and instead she really focused on building a life and a career for herself. And so she would go to college and she would earn her degree in surgical technologies, and then by 2009 she was employed full-time as a surgical assistant in Dayton. Also around that time, she had her first child, a son, who she adored. But despite creating this life full of stereotypically adult, mature things like having a career and starting a family, deep down, Raquel was still very much the thrill-seeking wild teenager she was back in high school. But as an adult, she just never had time to go seek out those thrills. So, with that in mind, fast forward to April of 2016. By this point, Raquel is 26 years old, and that month, a very rare weekend popped up where Raquel did not have to work and she didn't have any childcare responsibilities. And so, wanting to take advantage of this free time, Raquel asked her boyfriend, 41-year-old David Nee,
okay, hold on. Let's go to the timeout. Hold on, I just did some math there. Let's do some quick math. 15 years? What you doing there, Raquel? We got some, David got some robbing the cradle stuff going on here, eh? You went to those male cougars? Also, his last name is Nee. It looks like she's still thrill seeking, but in different ways.
A road trip that weekend to Louisville, Kentucky, where Raquel wanted to check out the infamously scary Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Back in the 1900s, Waverly Hills was a place where tuberculosis patients were sent. Tuberculosis, or TB for short, is an infection of the lungs and it can be deadly. Today, there's a cure for it, but back in the early 1900s, there wasn't. And so most of the people who went to Waverly Hills died there, and usually very slowly and painfully and in total isolation from their families, because in virtue of being sent to Waverly Hills, they were effectively being quarantined to stop the spread of the disease. Waverly Hills would eventually shut down permanently in 1961 because by that point the cure had been found, and after it shut down, the building basically just sat there. Nobody else came in and turned it into anything else. And so this building is basically abandoned, and lots of people began sneaking in to see what it was like in there, and a shocking number of these trespassers reported seeing ghosts inside. Today, the sanatorium is...
So yeah, I mean, that's one of those things I would love to find out if I actually see like a ghost just straight up walking and chill, you know what I mean? But again, squatters, man, squatter central. You don't go in there unless you're packing heat with a crew, man. You don't like solo with nothing. In the middle of the night. Fuck no, dog. Ain't happening. I ain't going there. It ain't happening like that. Broad motherfucking daylight. First time at least, because it's like, well, ghosts don't come out unless it's dark or something. So maybe like we scan the area, we check the whole fucking area at daylight, see if we see anything, make sure there are no squatters or anything, kind of case the joint, and then maybe stay till night and do a little night sweep or what have you. But anyways, strapped crew, all on the same wavelength. That's how you do it, man.
Still very much in the same condition it was left in, but the Waverly Hills Historical Society has stepped in and made it very hard for people to sneak into the building. However, knowing people do want to go in and look around, the Historical Society has begun offering guided tours of the sanatorium. And these tours are given exclusively at night to increase the spooky effect.
Of course.
And so David, who had...
That's also pretty legit.
Only been dating Raquel for a month when she asked him to come with her to the sanatorium, he was not really that keen on doing this. It did not really
I don't know about that, you crazy motherfucker. I don't know about that one.
Appeal to him to go walking around this totally terrifying place, but he could tell it was important to Raquel. She was really excited about it.
I'd be like, I'm bringing a pistol. I'm just telling you right now, I won't get a pistol. I'm bringing a pistol.
And so he agreed to go. A few days later, on the late afternoon of April 23rd, the new couple left Raquel's place, they climbed into the car, and they began driving south. 3 hours later, they arrived in Louisville, and they stopped to get dinner. And then after they were done eating, they looked at the time and realized it was only about 6:45 p.m., and the tour they had scheduled at the sanatorium was not...
I don't know if you can see that. Louisville, baby. Let's go. My Louisville slugger right here. Representing Kentucky. Sorry. I gotta skip back a little bit because I stopped paying attention. I was like, oh yeah, Louisville. Yeah.
To get dinner. And then after they were done eating, they looked at the time and realized it was only about 6:45 p.m. and the tour they had scheduled at the sanatorium was not until 10 p.m. So they had a few hours to kill. And before David could suggest anything, Raquel already had the perfect idea of how they should kill this time. She told David that earlier that day she had learned about a spot just outside of Louisville that might actually be more terrifying than the sanatorium they had.
Oh, good, bitch. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think this might be a little bit too much child play. Scare me more. We need a warm up for the event. Yeah, no. It's like, how about we go on a walk? Maybe you go out to a nice dinner or something. Like, How about that, you crazy son of a bitch?
had come all this way to see. And so Raquel wanted to spend these few hours checking out this new spooky spot. This spooky spot was a rickety old, narrow, abandoned-looking bridge called the Pope Lick Trestle. It's located just east of downtown Louisville.
So it's a bridge, not a pipeline.
In this heavily wooded area. The bridge is about 800 feet long, and at its highest point, right in the middle of the bridge, it's about 90 to 100 feet off the ground. And this bridge connects the tops of two of the bigger rolling hills in the area. But the bridge's physical appearance has nothing to do with why it's considered so spooky. The reason the Pope Lick Trestle has become a central part of Kentucky folklore is because locals say there is a monster called the Pope Lick Monster that lives underneath the bridge. It's half...
Oh, like a fucking troll or some shit. Cool. Yeah, hon, let's go check it. We're ready to fight it off if it truly exists.
Goat, half man.
Oh, the goat man? Oh no.
And when anyone is near this bridge at night, this monster is supposed to come out from underneath this bridge. And then what happens next?
That's like straight up the goat man picture. That's Kentucky? I didn't know it was Kentucky. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have, like, just like a lot of people claim to have Bigfoot. Or some shit, you know, like it's like West Coast up. Like, I think like parts of Canada, Washington, probably Oregon, maybe a little bit Colorado too, even that area. Like, you know, claim to have. So I'm sure there's a lot of areas that's like, oh, goat man, you know. But I didn't know Kentucky.
Is very ambiguous. It kind of depends on who you're talking to, but generally speaking, once the Pope Lick monster has emerged and it sees you, you're dead. Now, how you die ranges from the monster leaping out and attacking you with an axe to the monster using some sort of mind control to lure you up onto the bridge where you leap off. David, after hearing this suggestion, was again not really that keen to...
You know, David, I think at some point... a spoiler or a pre-warning here. I'm going to get a little crass, so apologies. I mean, if you're young, you shouldn't be here, and if you're sensitive, how have you still been watching my stuff? You must have just stumbled onto here. But apologies for being crass. But at some point, David, maybe I think you need to decide yourself. Maybe the pussy ain't worth it, man. Like, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know if you're going to find a lot of cradles to rob like that. You know, people that are like almost 20 years younger than you. But, like, sometimes maybe the pussy can't be that bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be that good. Like, you know, David, maybe, you know, maybe not.
Go do this really terrifying sounding thing, but seeing the excitement in his girlfriend's face, he agreed to go. And so the two left the restaurant, they climbed back in the car, and they drove for about 15 or 20 minutes to the Pope Lick Trestle Bridge. The bridge...
Who has dinner at 6 o'clock? Well, a lot of people actually have dinner like 5, 6. I'm more of like a 7, 8 kind of guy, you know. Maybe the 9 or something. My family's always had dinner late, so it's just kind of followed me. Yeah.
Bridge actually passed over a relatively main road, and so the couple parked just off the side of this main road, and then once they were outside, they began looking for a pathway up this hillside to get up to the bridge. And very quickly, they found a well-worn dirt path that snaked up the side of this wooded hillside that looked very much like it would bring them up to the bridge. So with Raquel in front and David behind her, they began walking up this dirt.
She can take in charge, man. Like, she ain't scared of shit. If I was there, I'd be like, yeah, you go first, because if it comes up front, I'm going that way. Like, I love you, hon, I want to protect you and all, but like, as far as I know, we didn't bring no guns. What are we gonna do against a goat monster that can have an axe or mind controlling powers? Like, if this thing actually does exist, good luck. It's been nice knowing you. But also the number of squatters that homeless people that could be living underneath that place as well could also be dangerous. So, yeah.
Path. And as they're walking, they start to see signs that clearly say no trespassing.
Do not go.
But they ignore them because they're looking at this path thinking, okay,
well, I guess it makes sense that you ignore the warning sign, obviously. Because, like, of course, they're gonna, like, haunted places or places you're not supposed to be at and stuff. You know, people like, stop going here, guys. The legend's not true. Go away. They're gonna be like, don't show up. But of course, you ignore those warnings because you're exploring the haunted. You know,
lots of people clearly come up here, so we've got to be okay. And so they keep on walking up this path, and they're getting closer and closer to the top of this hill where they think it's going to connect with this bridge. And right as they're getting close, they see there's this huge chain link fence, this 8-foot tall chain link fence with barbed wire across the top that
oh, that's pretty cool.
Extends in either direction out of view. And so the couple walks up to this fence, and there are more signs that say no trespassing, private property, and there are additional warning signs saying that what is on the other side of this fence is also just plain dangerous. So turn around and leave.
Right. Oh, we get some adverts,
Every
baby.
fall, when the leaves start to turn colors and the weather starts to get cool,
milk dust?
It's such an...
The fuck is that? I love it.
Papa to avoir!
Alright, I'll speak French. Hey, good for you, Mr. B. That's cool, man.
Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/Mr. Ballen, or you can click the link in the description below. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. As Raquel and David are staring at all these signs and this fence, they see, not far from the path, somebody had clearly bent 2 of the fence posts and created a narrow gap in the fence that you could slip through. And so from David and Raquel's perspective, that looked like the way other trespassers must have found their way up to the bridge, and so it must be safe. And so once again, the couple disregarded...
Yeah. If someone else has done it, it's gotta be safe.
...all the warnings.
Just like Russian roulette, someone else has done it and lived. It's gotta be safe.
They made their way over to this gap in the fence, they both slipped through, and they kept on walking up the hill. Just a couple of minutes later, they reached this clearing, which was at the top of this hill, and once they were in this clearing, they were able to turn, and they could actually see the bridge. It was only a couple hundred feet away from them, and it was totally intimidating. By this point, it's totally dark out, and from their perspective, all they see is this very narrow bridge that they know is 100 feet off the ground.
See, that looks like a pipeline, doesn't it? That's all I'm saying.
At certain...
I mean, I assume it's 2016. Yeah, you got flashlights on your phone. Don't know how powerful that'll be, but
points, and they can see there's no guardrails on either side of this bridge. It would have almost looked like a tightrope kind of extending off into the darkness. But even if the couple was really intimidated by the sight of this bridge and with all these warning signs before it, they were able to put their fear aside and just keep on going. And so with David now in the lead and Raquel behind him, they walked the couple of hundred feet over to the start of this...
David, what you doing, bro? Come on now.
...narrow bridge, and when they got there, without actually stepping onto the bridge, David came to a stop, he turned around to face Raquel, and he gestured for her to come stand next to him so they could take a selfie with the bridge in the background. Because David, at this point, is thinking, we're not going to go on this bridge. We're just going to look at this bridge, take some pictures, and then we'll go. But Raquel, who he's looking at, gesturing to come stand with him, just walks right past him onto the bridge and...
Yeah. Yeah, you should know by now you go crazy. Like, she crazy.
takes several steps out onto this narrow, rickety old thing, and then she stops, turns around, and gestures for David to come with her and walk across the entire bridge.
I'm like, how about now? how about we like so don't do that and pretend that we did.
And David, again, is having his second thoughts, but he sees Raquel wants to do this, and so...
My man. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing stuff for your partner that they want to do, and you know you maybe not be interested. Like, I don't know if you want to go antiquing or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, maybe just go out to some place you normally wouldn't go. You don't really want to go, but like, hey, you know, why not? You know, have some fun. It's another thing when you're trespassing, illegally trespassing, and walking on a bridge that even if there's no monster itself might just fall and break and you could die in the middle of the night with barely any light. So, my man, I think you need to take... I'm trying to find a peaceful way to put this. You need to get your testes back, realize, you know what, pussy good and all, but like, it ain't this good, and be like, this whole like, follow me, like, nah, that way. We get our ass that way. You know what I mean? You need to pop those back into your scrotum and like, be like, nah, bruh. Because you're a little right now, my man. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't worth finding something or someone in the darkness on this rickety ass bridge that you're then running for your life on. You know what I mean? It's like it ain't worth it.
He agrees to go. After they had walked about 100, maybe 200 feet across this bridge, the two of them just started laughing because it was totally exhilarating what they were doing. Not so much the quest for the Poplick monster, but rather the very real risk they were taking. Walking this tightrope bridge in the middle of the night. The couple would continue to very cautiously but quickly make their way across this bridge, and when they reached about the halfway point, when they were at the highest point from the ground, the bridge itself begins to shake. And then from behind them, they hear this loud grinding sound. And so the couple, they whip their heads around, and they see there are these two bright glowing lights that are looking
Oh, it's still in use.
Right at them, all the way on the start of the bridge. And they realize it's a train.
Oh, this thing was still in use. See, again, David, sometimes when you just gotta be like, nah, nah. And this is, I said something or someone. I didn't think some mechanical thing, but like, something. Now I'm kind of disappointed because I think that's going to be the monster and whatnot. I was hoping that some creature, whether it be like a person dressed up or something, or someone would start chasing them or something. But I think this is going to be the event of the story, which is, I mean, it's all right. But like, you know, look for something scary. Maybe they go down and find something scary after they've done it. I mean, I don't know what the bridge looks like. I'll maybe just try to climb down a little bit and hold on while it goes overhead, and then try to climb back up or something. I don't know. But yes, as they go and fucking sprint to the other side, which, good luck. It is sprint long enough that you can jump off the side and not break something.
When Raquel and David walked up that dirt path and snuck through the fence and reached the top of the hill and could actually see the Poplick Trestle Bridge, they would have also seen the train tracks in the hillside that clearly extended onto the Poplick Trestle and went across the bridge. This was a train bridge. They would have seen that. But it's assumed that the couple, who didn't live in the area and so didn't know much about the Poplick Trestle, it's assumed they thought, well, you know, this is a train bridge, but it's got to be abandoned. It certainly looks abandoned.
Right, yeah, I didn't think that any train would be able to make it across there. It looked kind of decrepit in the pictures. But...
And it does. It looks totally old. It does not look active, even though it is. Or the couple thought, well, this is just an old train bridge. It might be active, but surely no train is going to come
in the middle of the fucking night
through anytime soon. We can get across the bridge before a train arrives.
Right.
But of course they
fair.
were wrong.
Yeah.
When the couple turned around and saw these two headlights bearing down on them, they quickly realized they would not be able to outrun this train.
Get to the other side of the train, yeah. They're gonna have to start climbing down a little bit.
The train's clearly trying to stop. It has seen them. It's hitting its brakes. It's sounding its horn, but it's just clearly moving.
Yeah, it takes a long time for those to stop.
Moving too quickly, so they cannot run to the other side to safety. And because this bridge was meant for a single train to pass through, there was no other track they could just jump onto to avoid being hit. And there were no walkways.
If I was a train driver, I wouldn't even bother trying to hit the brakes. It'd just be like, you just turn the corner, you see humans not very far away. It's just like, I could start stopping this thing, but you're still dead. You know what I mean? Like, I'd just be like, There's warning signs, guys. Good luck. You got this. Just try not to break anything on the jump down. 100
on
feet,
either
good.
side of this railway. And so literally all they had was the track that this train was going to cross over, and they were on it. And so with no other choices, David yells to Raquel that they have to climb down and hang off the side of this bridge.
Yeah, you do.
Now, there were these wooden slats that ran underneath the rails. They ran perpendicular to the rails.
Exactly.
And these wooden slats kind of extended off the edge of the bridge on either side just a couple of inches. And so in theory, if you were holding onto the outside of one of these wooden slats and kind of dangling off the edge of the bridge, a train could cross those tracks and not run over your hands or fingers. You would just have to hold on that whole time as the train is rumbling through.
Yeah.
So David, he flops down onto his stomach, and he's trying to lower himself as fast as he can as this train is getting closer and closer, and he's yelling for Raquel to do the same thing, but she's not really moving very quickly. And finally, David, he gets in position. He's hanging off the edge of this bridge on these wooden slats, and he sees Raquel. She's not quite there, and then the train comes flying through. It strikes Raquel and sends her flying off the bridge.
Oh, she dead. Like, there is, like, literally no way you survive. Even if you survive the initial train, I mean, if she survives it, that's a fucking miracle. If she survives getting hit by a fucking train going that fast, or fast enough, then being flung off of 100 feet 100 feet up down to the ground, the only the only way you'd be alive is Jesus took the wheel. Like, that means there is some deity, and they decided, let's spare them. Like, that'd be it, man. You would probably never walk again. You'd probably never be able to eat again through your own volition. You'd be lucky if your brain's on at any point. Like, this person survives this, they will not survive well.
To the ground below. David would somehow manage to hold on the
girl, you gotta move your ass, man. Like, I don't know if it's paralyzed in fear or whatnot, but like, I don't know. David jumped to action. He knew, like, yeah, we gotta hang. Like, we have no other option. We gotta hang. Like, that's the only way we're gonna survive. And she's just like, like, come on, girl. For a thrill seeker, you aren't ready to do the thrill part, man.
Whole time as this train went past him. And then once the train had passed him, he pulled himself back up onto the tracks. He ran the rest of the way across the bridge. He went down that hill.
At that point, you see your girl just just fucking get wailed off. That's pure adrenaline on that rush, bro. You fucking storming.
Hillside, and when he found Raquel, it was immediately apparent that she was deceased.
There's, like, again, there's no way you survive that unless some deity looked fondly upon you at that moment. Like, first off, getting hit by a train going that fast is enough to kill you, if not break every bone in your fucking body, and then being flung already 100 feet up. If you get tossed off by the impact of that, that means you're flying farther than just the straight 100 feet down. That means the amount of velocity that you're going to pick up on that descent is probably terminal. So, yeah, you fucking dead instantly.
In the end, the railroad was not issued any citations or sued.
No. You were warned many times.
For negligence. It was determined they did their due diligence by setting up that 8-foot-tall barbed wire fence with all those signs telling people to stay back and warning people about the hazards of going past this fence. And so it was actually David who got in trouble for this tragedy.
Yeah. Not only did you lose your girl, but also you might be looking at fines or maybe a little bit of jail time or community service or something. Yeah, I got some things to say, but we'll save it. It's almost over.
He was cited and charged with a felony of unlawfully disrupting and or delaying a train, causing financial damages. He would plead to a lesser charge of trespassing and would be fined $2,300. Shockingly, this tragedy is just one of many that have occurred on the Popelik Trestle Bridge. Since the bridge's construction in the 1800s, there have been
Put up a sign. Like, put up a sign everywhere on this fence that says, "This is an active bridge. A train will come. You will die." Put that up there. Like, multiple times. Like, have a wall. Pretty much build a wall that just says that a million times across there. Maybe that might work. I don't know.
dozens of people who have died on this bridge.
Yeah.
And several of these deaths, many of them fairly recent, the last 20 or so years, have occurred under the same conditions as Raquel's. People went looking for the Popelik monster
That goat
and
man.
then were struck by a train.
Maybe the goat man summons the train. Summons the train. They could have just went on a walk, man.
So that's going to do it. If you got something out of today's episode,
David. Bro. Bro. First off, sorry for your loss. But next time, maybe find someone who's not almost half your age. That's probably a good start. So there's one. Two. Like, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure the intercourse was fantastic, but at some point, you gotta be like, you know what? Maybe we don't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you would much rather have someone you're dating be mad at you and upset with you than seeing her get and finding her dead body. And on top of the fact that you had to watch your girlfriend get fucking just full on sprung, smacked into a train, flew off the side, and find her body dead, then you get fined. Too large for trespassing. David, sometimes you just gotta say no, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta unchain your testes and be like, you know what, bitch? No. Sorry, David. You know, sometimes the cooch just ain't worth it, man. It just ain't worth it, brother. I was just saying, like, the whole time them going there, I'm just saying, like, how about no? For many reasons. And if he would have just said that once, maybe his girl's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm kind of disappointed that there wasn't some kind of I don't know, squatter chasing them or something. But like, that did turn out to be one hell of a story. Yeah, could have just gone on a walk, had a late dinner, and then showed up to have a good time in a haunted asylum, a medical ward or whatever. Instead, she wanted to go see Goatman, and Goatman got her. And then Goatman slapped a 2K charge on him at the same time for the pleasure of him destroying his girl. Don't think that was worth it, bro. Gotta tell you, don't think that one was worth it. Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting story. That was fascinating. thank you all so much for joining me here today. So I think the lesson we can learn here today is sometimes it's not a bad idea to tell your partner despite what genitalia they have. Nah. when something's like a little crazy, like, oh, let's go to this haunted place. They have, they do walkthrough tours. Okay. When they start talking crazier, it's like, before that, let's do a little B&E, breaking and entering, some trespassing, and let's run across this rickety ass decrepit bridge. At that point, no matter who's telling that, your man, your woman, your any gender in between, you just look at them and be like, nah. I think that's the lesson we can learn here today. So thank you all so very much for joining me. And I will see y'all next time.